Humaniki, a cult classic RPG Maker Horton's game. I, like many others, really enjoyed it. But now that we've seen all that there is to see in it, we're left wanting more. But that's where our good friends, the fans, come in. Humaniki fan games. There are so many. Not even joking, there are over 500 games in the fan games would be alone, and there are probably still way more. But the one we're talking about today is .flow. .flow is Humaniki but double the scares, events, and endings. Let's begin with the events. We've got the broom, which doubles movement speed, the pipe for taking out NPCs for, lunch, takeout. YouTube, please don't demonetize me. As I was saying, we have the ghost effect, which allows you to go unnoticed by the kaibutsu. Let me put the ghost effect real quick.
The ghost.
You're not getting me. I'm invisible.
Surprise!
One of the several enemies in this game. I didn't find much use for the other effects, except for just looking cool. Moving on, we play as Sabitsuki. He's rocking some sick kicks, my bedhead, and a kick-ass t-shirt. Kick-ass. In this game, you access the dream world via the PC instead of the bed. The Nexus this time only has 4 areas accessible instead of Humaniki's 12. I believe this was a good change as it makes the game more simpler, easy to navigate. .flow is more, I guess, scary, spooky, more unnerving than Humaniki, as there are areas such as this, where you can hear what I believe to be a rotten heart beating. Ugh, gross. Before we talk about the cool events and areas, I'm going to explain about the erosion counter, which is pretty important. It's a hidden counter that controls how much blood and rust is in Sabitsuki's room, the real-world version. The erosion counter will go up as you experience some of the game's events. This is important because one of the events requires you to get your erosion counter to 250. 250! Do you know how long it takes to get that? Freaking forever! I mean, unless you do everything perfect, you're not going to get that on your first playthrough. Unless you're willing to sit there and grind for hours. And if you're going for the other events, you need to eat a certain amount of cake at the bar, which I'm going to talk about later, to get the other events to trigger. You need to eat a certain amount of cakes. For some unholy reason, this cake lowers the erosion counter. So I literally couldn't even get footage of the 250 erosion event. So, to kick off the events section, we're going to talk about the one I couldn't do, the Nightmare event. To access the event, you obviously need to have your erosion counter at 250, and then go to the Dream Balcony. Of course, you just hop on the computer, you're at the Dream Balcony. Walk around there for a bit, and then wake up. Sabitsuki is going to have a nightmare about a kaibutsu coming in her room and getting her. This, combined with the creepy visuals, makes for a pretty creepy event. Next is the kaibutsu at the bar event. In the bar, there is a chance that a non-hostile kaibutsu will be sitting in one of the chairs. If you try and take him out for takeout, he's going to take you out to takeout first. Then the scene cuts to Sabitsuki's body somewhere, I don't know. Now for something more a little lighthearted and more akin to Humaniki. If you go to the Rainbow Maze and wander around for a while like a dumbass, eventually you're going to find an area with a ledge. Equip the broom effect and ride off the ledge. And just fly. Just like Humaniki. It's pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Okay, back to our spooky events. With the Bloody Room event. I guess it's Blood, Pus, and Rust. I don't know, that's its official name. I'm just calling it the Bloody Room event. In .flow, there are a few doors that can't be walked through. This plays a big part in the Bloody Room event. To access this event, go to the sewers and reset the room. Reset this very specific room until a teal thing shows up on the wall. Interacting with it will change this giant blob's color. Interacting with the blob will have you sucked through the ground. Continuing to go right, it'll take you to a room which is just coated and covered in blood. And the one door in this room are one of them that cannot be walked through. After trying a few times and walking backwards, Sabitsuki will seemingly fall over and bleed to death. See, I don't believe that's exactly what happened. There are 2 things that could have happened. Either A, Sabitsuki just fell over and bled to death, or B, which I see as her gouging her eyes out and bleeding to death. Yeah. Stuff like this makes me wonder what the hell happened in Sabitsuki's life for stuff like this to be in her dreams. the first time you access this event increases the erosion counter by 50, just to let you know. I mentioned earlier cakes at a bar. Yeah, you need to eat a certain amount of cakes to trigger some events, and the next two require eating cakes to trigger. So for the first of the cake events, you need to first get 1,500 yen by killing enemies, which takes way longer than you'd think. Then go to the bar and get a cake. Then wake up and then do the same thing 4 more times. Yeah, you can only eat a cake once while asleep. After you spend over an hour eating 5 cakes, you can see the hole in girl event. Yes, that's his actual name. In the third room on the left side, in the third room in the hotel on the left side, there is a maid with no face. Unnerving, right? Showing her not face isn't all she does. However, there's a chance that every time you interact with her, she will engulf the entire screen with her whole face and transform you to the weirdest area in this entire game. The music is just what makes it unsettling. Just listen to this. Aight, Sabitsuki, you have some explaining to do. What in the hell is this supposed to be? For the other cake event, you need to eat 10 cakes. 10! Do you realize how long the first 5 took? Several hours of money grinding and cake eaten later, speak with the 2 maids in the bar area. The cone on these stairs will disappear. Going up them will lead you to a room where Sabitsuki and some random girl sit at a table. After a second, they disappear. Oh, and you can't leave this room without waking up. Or using the hands effect. Now it's time for probably the creepiest event of them all, the childbirth event. After going through this list of rooms, this very, very long list of rooms, you'll end up in a room with tons of things. After killing enough of these things to make it to the door, you will witness this. What seems to be children exploded into bloody masses of flesh until this happens. Before you can even process what just happened, Sabitsuki wakes up. Yeah, that's pretty weird. This also, the first time you interact with it, increases your erosion counter by 50. Every subsequent chance does it by 10. Then the last event is the Corrupt School event. In the world with the eye in the background, there's a chance that there will be a third mouth thing in this spot. Equip and activate the ghost effect because there are 3 Kaibutsu in this room, and after getting close to the 3, a 4th will enter the room, and he is super fast, so he will instantly get you. With the ghost effect, he can't get you because he can't see you, obviously. Now that you've dodged the Kaibutsu, make your way to the bottom left and enter the Corrupt School. Once you get to the first room, your effects become unusable. Not only are your effects unusable, there are many Kaibutsu that will follow you through the school, even through doors. This doesn't happen in the normal school, and if you return to this area as Rust, more on him later, some of the Kaibutsu will be replaced with demons that will consume the Kaibutsu coming out of the classrooms in the building, turning them into demons themselves. Regardless of who you're playing as, the Kaibutsu or demons will stop following you once you get to the basement. In the basement, you'll have the pipe auto equipped. You'll also find an NPC named Smile. He's normally hostile when you find him in other areas, even if you have the pipe equipped. But in this area, if you try to take him out, he'll kill you. Yeah, he'll kill you. He'll strike first. That isn't all there is to this event, though. If you come to the basement as Rust, you can stroll up to him and actually kill him. It actually works. And I forgot to mention this in the script, so I guess editor Alex here. You actually show up as what seems to be a Kaibutsu if you walk in the room as Rust, so that clears up any confusion. Anyway, next. So that's it for events, so I want to talk about Rust for a moment. Rust is Sabitsuki's alter ego, I think. He is accessible after getting all the effects in the game. Headphones, ghost, iron pipe, diving helmet, cat broom, watering can, whistle, gas mask, machine, Daruma, slime, arms, viscera, psychedelic, handgun, corpse, and black hood, uniform, tattoo, plant, dress, and television. Go to the dream world and, oh look, it's the secret event. Now this is the actual last event. I'm just going to play the event because I don't exactly know what to make of it myself. Now that you've finally made it to the dream world, try interacting with the computer and select the option yes on throw it all away. This gets rid of your effects permanently, but changes Sabitsuki out for Rust. Rust is special because while playing as him there are no Kaibutsu, but there happen to be the aforementioned demons that take their place, and they show up a lot more frequently. And they will always get you when they see you, because they have this little dash move that will always catch you. And of course, it will always catch you because you can't go fast enough to dodge them because you don't have the broom effect. Or any effects. Now, they don't take you to an inescapable room when they get you, though. They just damage you. Take too much damage and you are dead. Literally. This is what happens when the demons hit you one too many times.
You don't look so good, bro.
Rust may also access the areas that were previously inaccessible. Behind the previously inaccessible areas are areas that have empty text box items. There are 3 of these in total. The reason why you'd even want to access Rust in the first place is to get the oxidized ending, or Rust ending, or true ending, or whatever. This is the true ending. After getting all 3 empty boxes, an elevator will appear in the dream world. Going in it will reveal the name Rust above the elevator door, and a corridor that gets more blood-soaked and rusted over time. At the end, Rust will be all bloody and deformed, looking pretty akin to a Kaibutsu. In the end, Rust finds Sabitsuki and kills her. This wakes you up. It's now possible to go outside and finally view the ending. I will play the ending for you now. After the ending, a really nice credit scene plays. And you know what? I love this game. From its unsettling areas to its horrific events, finding the cool places in Dot Flow is just lots of fun for me, and it's the whole fun factor. As when you find a new place, it makes you wonder what places this world leads to, this area leads to, because every world leads to tons of different places within the world of Dot Flow. It's really fun. And you know what? This is probably the only type of game where getting lost is actually a good thing. Sometimes you might get so lost that you're going to activate a flower that gets you literally stuck. Sometimes you'll get so lost you'll find yourself stuck in a frickin' block, that's a glitch actually, or stuck in some old deep sea ruins looking at a Euboa scribbled on the walls. Sometimes you might find rooms that are literally made of flesh. I love that each person who plays this game will find completely different things than me. And a bunch of other people would find different things than that person. It's really cool. And this is just all made better with Dot Flow's medium size. Not too big, not too small, just perfect. To conclude, Flow is a spooky humanity game with double the events, cool places, and scares. You know what's funny about this video is that I hardly scratched the surface of what this game has to show. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I seriously recommend that you play Humanity and Dot Flow at least. You don't even have to download them, as they're available in browser thanks to the YNO project. I used YNO project to record footage for this video, so I just had to mention it at some point. I also played Humanity and Dot Flow in school because, well, YNO project hasn't been blocked yet. I'm kind of surprised actually. So yeah. That's just proof of how little people know about this genre of games. But yeah, that's kind of the reason why I'm here. And so now it's time for the ad-lib section. You can exit the video now if you want. You don't have to listen to me ramble on, but here I go. Some extra thoughts before I leave. So yeah, I'm gonna compare .flow to Yumeniki real quick. .flow, in my opinion, is better than Yumeniki. It's got more events, more of everything, and honestly, I think it's incredible. The music, I hardly even touched on it, but it's unnerving and it adds to the overall experience, and it's awesome. And to back up what I said before, I love .flow. It's awesome. Yeah, I know, it's really creepy and it's not everybody's cup of tea, but exploring in .flow is probably the most fun thing you could do. Unfortunately though, .flow and Yumeniki, they're not as accessible to as broad a like to a very broad audience. There is a very low amount of people that are actually going to enjoy these games. But honestly, even if you don't think very highly of these games and think that they're not really that great, I'd seriously recommend playing Yumeniki at least. In fact, you don't even have to download anything. Seriously, I seriously recommend playing on Wino Project. It's really a really cool project, and I completely support what they're doing. It's awesome. I hope they add more games to Wino Project too, and fix more bugs and stuff. Just like the little hole in the block thing that I mentioned earlier. It was like a joke, but, yeah. Seriously, Yumeniki and .flow. These are must-play games. And I recommend them to anybody who likes a surrealist horror experience. .flow is definitely more horror-oriented than Yumeniki is, but honestly, I think it's cool. Just like the effects. I hardly even touched on them, but I really like the handgun effect and psychedelic, and I don't actually have very much footage of these, so yeah. I really, really enjoyed finding them. And thank the Lord that the Yume wiki was on my side for this one. Seriously, I couldn't recommend it enough. Searching up on the wiki if you want to find all the effects and beat the game. It's good. It's a good wiki, alright? Anyway, I think that's actually all I got now. So, I'm gonna go. See you later, my friends.